how did growing up in Nottingham, Worksop, and Sheffield make the person that's sitting here now?
Well, it was a quite a varied childhood. Working backwards, I ended up before I started working in my first sort of professional rock band. I ended up doing a degree in modern history at London University, which I managed to just scrape into by the skin of my teeth because I'd been thrown out of an English public school, a boarding school, for pissing in the headmaster's dinner, which didn't go down well. Although actually he did eat all of it. But, and had it been this day and age, I would have just hired lawyers and said, "Where is the evidence?" And of course, anybody with any rudimentary knowledge of biology will know that urine's perfectly sterile, and furthermore, there'll be no DNA. So sorry, there's no smoking gun here, just a pile of steaming beans. But so.
Did you become? Wait, hold on a second. Did you become the most popular person in Oundale school when you did this prank?
No, but I am subsequently. Because I've met kids, who've gone there. In fact, I met one who was the daughter of a friend of mine who they have women there now. I mean, wow. It was all boys when I was there, and so they have women there now. And this girl was the daughter of somebody. She went, "Oh my God, you're him! Oh my God, you're like a folk hero." I'm like, "Oh no, really? Still? It was a long time ago, So, rewinding beyond that, my parents were basically upward mobile, working class people who came together. They loved each other, but things got accelerated rather more quickly when my mum was 16 and ended up pregnant. So marriage shortly thereafter, and my mum came from another working class family in a mining town called Worksop in the north of England. So my grandfather was a coal miner and had been since he was 13. And so he actually raised me for the first 5 years of my life. So I lived in the pit village and went to the local school and everything. And then my parents came. They were on tour with a performing dog act in an early cabaret outfit going around Europe with a very early victim of plastic surgery running it, which is quite a horrific story my father told to me, with this woman who had early plastic surgery on her eyes, which meant that she couldn't blink. So I was like, really? That's just like really disturbing for a 12-year-old to know. But now, of course, it's you only have to watch like reality TV, and it's full of people like that, but with permanently surprised eyebrows and things like that. So and faces like fish. But but back then, it was an unusual sight to see somebody that looked like fish and couldn't blink. So we they came back into my life, and Dad was very ambitious. He worked extremely hard. I don't think I've ever met anybody who worked as hard as my dad, doing all kinds of different things, about 4 or 5 different businesses all at once, and he was always he never went to college because his parents couldn't afford to send him. He was certainly smart enough, but he never ever acquired the sort of bits of, I suppose you might say, critical thinking necessarily, but he was smart enough to acquire other bits. So as I ended up going to schools and things like that, we would come back and we would get involved in political arguments and things, and we'd like go at each other hammer and tongs because we'd have, all kinds of things. He taught me to play chess. And then one day I beat him, and then we stopped playing chess. I never figured it out for a while, but I think there was an element of competition going on here. But he wasn't a bad guy. It was just who he was, And so I got sent away. I was the first person in my family ever to go to a fee-paying private school, boarding school, what is somewhat oddly called a public school in the United Kingdom, which is not really a public school. I went there, and I was, not of the same background of anybody else. And when you turn up and your face doesn't fit, and your manner doesn't fit, and you turn around and you open your mouth and you say, well, that's kind of stupid. And they said, well, it's always been that way. Well, I think it's stupid. And then they beat the hell out of you. And then you get back up again and you say, I still think it's stupid. So they beat the hell out of you again. And you say, and now I think you're stupid. And there's a recurring theme here. And somebody somewhere down the line is stupid, quite possibly me. But stubborn, don't back down, don't give up, and say what you think. Sometimes gets you into trouble, but ultimately, I think, prepares you for a somewhat individual career choice. So basically, that's in a nutshell. That's my sort of background.